It's the National Football League on EA Sports, where we'll see two teams who got their starts way back in 1966. It's the Miami Dolphins and the Atlanta Falcons, and it's coming up next.
Mere feeds from where the Georgia Dome stood and the Falcons played for a quarter century. We're looking at the team's home since the 2017 season, Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta. Welcome to another entertaining matchup, folks. Kate Scott, Brock Heward on the call in this one. And Brock, got a couple of running backs down on the field who can really take over their offenses when they get in the groove.
And I think that's going to be the ultimate goal of both of these offenses, right? I mean, there's just no confusion about it. They want to get their bell cow in that groove and get them going, find that rhythm where they're ripping off chunk yardage run after run and then just keep on feeding that beast. In a game like this, whichever offense can get that rhythm and run game going first is likely going to be your winner.
Young Kweku has it all teed up. And away we go at Mercedes-Benz Stadium. Washington now to return. He stopped on the return at the 27. So the Dolphins offense headed out for their opening drive. They'll be led out by a proud Samoan and one of your few fellow lefty QBs, Brock, Tua Tagovailoa.
Tua's early career, yeah, it was known for injuries. Maybe not being as durable and as available as you want in a top 10 pick. But the last few years, he's taken great strides to rewrite that narrative. Remember, this was a guy that rewrote the record books in Hawaii, won a national championship at Alabama, and nobody questioned the accuracy of that left arm. It was just the availability, well, that he's had to rewrite, and he's done a heck of a job.
Give him around 6. That's going to make it 2nd and 4.
You gain that kind of yardage in the run game, and you're going to gain the trust of your offensive coordinator. Plays like that, runs like that, set the table for everything else in the playbook.
2nd and 4. He gets it complete to his man, Tyreek Hill. And they catch up to him, but not until he's got a huge gain and a first down. It's a 26-yard pickup there. And it'll be first down, Miami.
You know what I like about that, Kate? I like that they're not coming out slow. They're willing to go with some looks here that will yield big yardage down the field instead of just settling for dinking and dunking the ball.
1st and 10 from the 41. Putting a receiver in motion. They go play action with Tagovailoa. That's caught. Devon Achane. Pick up of a few as he heads out of bounds.
Kate, I don't know why every once in a while I'll get these little flashbacks, but a little play like that just flashes me back to the preseason, my first preseason. But one of the veteran QBs said, hey, Brock, whatever you do, just find completions. You will never go broke taking a profit. Go get a completion. They're at a premium in this league.
Buying some time left. He's keeping it. And he wisely avoids contact, sliding down there, and that played good enough for a first. Give him 13 on that play. And that's going to give the Dolphins a first down.
Well, I can tell you what, that was the goal from the moment he took off. Kept his eyes locked on the chains and made sure he set them up with a new set of downs. Well done.
Out of the shotgun, a give to Achane. And he's able to get this down to the edge of the red zone. Stopped on the play by the rookie from Tennessee.
You know, these are the kind of runs, Kate, that a balanced game plan and a balanced offense is built on. It gets you good yardage, it sets up your play action, and it keeps that defense honest.
2nd down carry for Achane. And he's brought down for a loss.
I talked to a bunch of different GMs, Kate, especially around draft time, and they all say the same thing. Linebackers are so hard to find. It's hard to transition from the college game that's in so much space to this game where you've got to play in a phone booth, yet have that explosiveness to chase a play on the outside down like that linebacker just did.
They've got a man in motion. On play action, here's Tagovailoa. And that one's incomplete, pretty fortunately so. That was a big risk, nearly an end zone turnover. Instead, it brings up 4th down.
That was it. That was their chance to escape this series. They were looking for a way out without giving up any points, and that was their ticket off the field. Unfortunately, he just couldn't quite hang on.
Aubrey puts it through. And the opening drive of the game ends in 3 points.
I never saw a play script that ended with a field goal. It was always a touchdown that you wanted. But that's 3 points, and it's enough to give them the lead.
Sanders all set to send it away. On the return, here's Ray McCloud. They'll have decent field position to begin with here, Brock. He's tackled just beyond that 30-yard line. So here are the Falcons out on offense for their first drive. And leading them out is a master at overcoming adversity before and after being drafted 8th overall in 2024. Out of your alma mater, Washington, it's Michael Penix Jr.
One of the big advantages of Michael Penix coming into the league is it wasn't storybook in college. In fact, he got beat up in Bloomington. Everybody remembers the end at Washington, the runner-up for the Heisman, the national title game. But he took a beating. Injuries derailed many of his years back at Indiana. And I think because of that background, because of all that gets built through that adversity, he's more than ready for everything that comes his way in the NFL.
8 yards to go. Let's see how they approach this second down. Penix working from the gun. Got a man, it's Drake London. And he's out of bounds just past, looks like the 40-yard line. It's a pickup of 9 yards. And it's good for an Atlanta first down. Penix here from the gun. Pass is caught. That's Darnell Mooney. And he's tackled after getting this to the opposing 46. It's a gain of 12 there. And the Falcons will have a first.
Kate, when Bill Walsh was implementing the drag route with the 49ers in the 80s, it sounded the same way as it did with Mike Holmgren and me with the Seahawks in the 2000s versus man on a drag route, run away. You see zone coverage, settle down, give your quarterback his numbers, and you can find a completion just like that.
And this almost ended worse, but he gets a yard out of it. It was Tyrell Dodson with the tackle. Only gets a yard there to make it 2nd and 9.
Hey, we know running the ball in the NFL is hard, and that play pretty indicative of it. Here's the key, though. At the end of the game, those type of plays got to be in the minority, and the majority have got to do some damage.
Here we go, 2nd and 9. Into the hands of Pitts. And they're going to touch him down after a short pickup.
Well, that's a modest little drag route, but if you ever just need a safe, short gain on a throw, that's a go-to route to target.
Let's see what they draw up on this 3rd and 7. From the shotgun, Penix. He's on the move. They'll make a bid for it on the ground. And this is down to the 28 before the defense halts it. He picks up 15 on the play. And it's good for an Atlanta first down.
As much as you'd like to find a completion and get the ball out of your hands, when a play breaks down, you got to be able to make a play with your legs. His offense counts on his ability to evade pressure and occasionally make plays just like that.
They've worked it downfield very well to begin the drive. It's 1st and 10 at the 28. That's brought in by Mooney. They come through with a nice gain of 10 and a first down.
Kid, I can't tell you how good that is. Anticipating the outcut, having the ball on the way before the receiver's head even turns, he puts it on him so that receiver can easily get out of bounds for the nice gain.
They have themselves another 1st and 10. Working inside the red zone. And he's not quite that fast. Let him just a bit too much. That's incomplete. That throw intended for Drake London. So it's 2nd down coming up.
Well, you got to have a short memory in the NFL. Incompletions happen. Now you got to make the adjustment and go get the next one.
So after the incompletion, here comes the 2nd down call. Shotgun snap, looking to throw. This throw is caught. And he takes this one down to the 10 before hitting that sideline.
The goal of running that drag route is to get it to him for at least a minimal gain with space to add after that. They picked up a good chunk, and there was nearly room to add even more.
3rd and just 2 to go. Going right side, Robinson with it. And he's dropped just short of the marker, maybe a yard away.
That's one of those plays, Kate, as an offense, it just sticks with you a little bit. It bothers you that you just can't convert on a very manageable down and distance. And on the other side, well, it sure gives you some confidence defensively to get off the field.
Offense staying out there. It's 4th and 1. Trying for it with Penix. That's cut beyond the marker. And he's tackled with the first down yardage.
Well, I love 4th downs. It just brings out the very best, and you get to see how you handle the most pressure, and it turns out, well, they handled it pretty darn well, and now they'll keep pushing.
They've set themselves up well for an opening drive touchdown here, Brock. It's 1st and goal. Here's Penix. From the pocket, looking for a target. Couldn't find Kyle Pitts on that throw. So now it'll be 2nd and goal.
You know, that was a play, Kate, right there where you need to buy your receivers just enough time to get open along their routes, and your quarterback enough time to find and hit him with the throw. Time, well, that's not what he had. O-line couldn't hold up, and it forces the incompletion.
Robinson. And he runs it across. Touchdown! The Falcons finish off their opening drive. It's a Bijan Robinson touchdown. For the offense, you gotta love it, Brock. Points to begin the game as he runs it in for an opening drive touchdown.
And you've got one very happy running back right over there on the sideline right now. These backs, they do feel the pressure to find the end zone every single week. It's not easy to do, but to do it this early and get out of the way, big time.
Young Hui Koo on for the point after. Extra point sent right down the middle. And the Falcons, who won up the opposing field goal, they start with 7 on their opening drive. Koo all lined up and ready to boot this one away. Washington now to return. And this will give them decent field position. The return gets out to the 30. So Miami headed out for its 2nd drive of the game. And their last drive did end in points. Not as many as they wanted, though. They had to settle for that field goal despite advancing the football pretty well. 1st and 10 now. Here's Tagovailoa. This is caught by Jalen Waddle. And he'll get taken down after advancing this to the 37.
I feel so bad, I really do, and I don't mean this sarcastically, Kate. I feel bad for these guys in coverage. I don't know how you defend some of these players today, because they get that drag route, they get one step inside of you, well, there's very little you can do other than make the tackle.
Tua now from the gun. Hauled in by Waddle. And he'll pick up enough to move the chains.
Well, he saw his guys pick up the blitz. Well, he felt them pick it up anyway if he wasn't looking at him. But with their effort on his behalf, I think this QB felt owed to them and the group up front to find somebody to get a completion, so that effort up front wasn't in vain.
Here's A-Chain up the middle. And he gets it through the midfield stripe and onto the Falcons side of the field. Just a little short, but still a 9-yard pickup. That's going to bring up 2nd and 1. And they can go ahead and stay in that huddle. We're at the end of the 1st quarter. Neither side separating much so far. We'll make our return to Mercedes-Benz Stadium after this. Back for the start of quarter number 2. It's Dolphin football as we begin. They have it on 2nd and short. Tua off the play fake. Completes this one to Hill. There it is. Touchdown, Miami. The Dolphins take a second quarter lead. Tyreek Hill the touchdown. So sensational work by the skill man there, Brock. Anytime you can make your quarterback look that good, you know he appreciates it.
That's a quarterback's best friend, no question. But on the other side, gosh, defensively, you got to get that skill player down. Period, end of story. You can't give up that much yards after catch.
Jason Sanders to try the extra point. The point after splits the uprights. And the Dolphins push their lead to 3. Sanders all set to send it away. McLeod now returning it. And pretty solid field position starting out here, Brock. He's tackled at the 29. Onto the field comes the Atlanta offense for the second time. They'll try to emphasize what worked on their last drive, which ended, Brock, in a touchdown. And the drive will start out with a 1st and 10. Drive begins with a run. It's Robinson. We'll have him gain about a handful there. It was Tyrell Dodson with the tackle. Halfway there on 1st down. That brings up 2nd and 5.
Sure, a whole lot of noise to sort through up the middle, but by the time he figured everything out, he was able to hit them for a decent gain.
Halfway to the marker. It's 2nd and 5. Staying with Robinson. And he breaks even, but that's it. Brought down at that line of scrimmage. Jalen Phillips finishing that play off. No gain on the play, and it leaves them with 3rd and 5.
Made it all look so simple, didn't he? That linebacker sorting right through the traffic, finding the runner. That's instincts come to life.
Penix on 3rd down. Throw reeled in by London. And he's going to get stopped right around the 45-yard line. It's a gain of 22. And the Falcons will have a 1st.
Well, that's a game that has its roots in preparation during the week. That's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday kind of stuff. Identifying ways to target the coverage and creating opportunities for big completions.
Ball on the 45, 1st and 10. From the gun, it's Robinson. And defenders are there to get him at the line. Play brought to an end by Jalen Ramsey. Call it no gain on that run, and they face 2nd and 10.
Not every corner in this league can make the play he just made right there. Sure, there's pure coverage guys. Not really known for their tackling, but this guy, well, he's someone who isn't afraid to stick his nose in there and make a stop.
Here's a counter give to Robinson. And not much doing. He stopped quickly. Just a couple on the pickup there, so back-to-back runs leave him with a 3rd and 8.
Yes, a smaller gain on the stat sheet with that counter run, but it does diversify their run game portfolio. Makes those guys, and especially the edge defenders, think a little bit. And Kate, I've told you once, I'll tell you 100 times, I love the play action that comes off of that same counter run action.
Into traffic, complete! And they're going to haul him down a step before the 30, right at the 31. Give him 11 yards, Brock, and a fresh set of downs.
You know, with some of these tight ends today, you could put 2 guys, heck, put 3 guys on them, and they still find a way to make those catches. With how they move at their size, they really are the ultimate matchup advantage.
1st and 10, a run to Robinson. And they're on him after about a 2-yard gain. Tackle made by Jordan Brooks. He gets a couple on 1st, and they'll come up 2nd and 8. From the 29. He'll get this complete to Mooney. And they can't bring him down until he gets into that red zone at the 19. They come through with a nice gain there. Gain of 10, first down. From the red zone now. Got a man, it's London. And this is down all the way to the 3. Give him about 16 yards on that gain, Brock, and it sets him up with first and goal.
I think my favorite part was the magic he worked after the catch. The way he took the completion and made so much more out of it by adding all the extra yardage.
Going jumbo set on this first and goal. Robinson crosses the goal line. Touchdown, Atlanta. The Falcons take a second quarter lead. It's a Bijan Robinson touchdown. So, Brock, good work there to finish off the drive in the end zone and retake the lead.
You just get this feeling every once in a while in games, this sucker's going to be a back-and-forth football game. So what a great job offensively to jump out in front here in the first half of play.
Koo on now for the extra point. Right down the middle, it's good. And the Falcons take a 4-point lead. Koo all lined up and ready to boot this one away. Washington now to return. And in the end, he's able to get it to what used to be a touchback. It's at the 25 after the return. The Dolphins and Tyreek Hill headed back out on offense. And unless the coverage adjusts to slow him down, Brock, he's going to be busy and a productive target for them throughout the rest of this contest. Tagovailoa on first down. No one open, so he chucks this to another county.
This is why we hear about closing speed so often when you evaluate players. You know, once he senses the pressure, he's getting rid of that ball. It takes a player who can close quickly to get to him before it's released and alter that throw.
No dice on that prior pass. Here's second down. A-chain on the inside give. He gets forward, and that's about 4 yards. Jesse Bates getting up for the stop that time.
You know, that's a good run right there to keep the offense on schedule. If he can average that type of yards per carry, this guy's going to be more than all right with letting him lead the show.
3rd and 6 for them to figure out now. Shotgun snap now to Tagovailoa. That's caught for the first. Rolling into enemy territory. And they finally bring him down, but that is a big gain and a new set of downs. It's a gain of 27 yards to move the chains.
It was such a privilege for me to watch Marvin Harrison and Reggie Wayne in person in Indianapolis do their work. Darrell Jackson out in Seattle. They showed how great a deep out is as a chain-moving play. It's all about getting that leverage at the top of the route and then exploiting the leverage as that ball arrives on time downfield.
First down, here's Tua. That one is incomplete. Couldn't hang on through the contact. That one intended for Jalen Waddle. And that'll bring up second down.
You know, that was almost a nice chunk play before he was able to recover and provide the hit that dislodges the football. You like to see that physical edge and scrappiness to contest any kind of shot plays deep.
2nd and 10 now. Chased out to his right. He's running with it. And he slides down with enough to pick up that first. That play gains 15, and it moves the sticks.
When a play breaks down, every once in a while, you got to be able to make a play with your legs. His offense counts on that ability to evade pressure and occasionally make plays just like that one.
They'll keep this drive moving and come to the line for 1st and 10. Tagovailoa now working from the gun. Finds him over the middle. And he stopped just before he reaches the red zone at the 21. It's the 2-minute warning now from Atlanta. The Dolphins in possession. 2nd and 3 now. Blitz coming, Tua. Hits him on the out route.
Hey, Kate, you know this from covering the Seahawks, calling their preseason game. When Pete Carroll was there, if he said it once, he said it 100 times. Stay on top, stay on top, stay on top. You'll give up a short little out route like that, but just stay on top of the deep threat.
Here we go, 3rd and less than a yard. Out of the gun, Tagovailoa. On the move, headed right. Oh, he's gonna run for it. And he'll push this upfield and earn them a new set of downs.
Well, I can promise you, that was the goal from the moment he took off. He kept his eyes locked on the chains. It's almost like he had a spidey sense. He knew exactly where to get in order to move the sticks and get that critical 1st down.
Tua out of the pistol. He'll dump this one off to his running back, complete. And that play is brought to a halt, they're going to say, at the 5-yard line.
You know, these running backs today, they are so versatile. It doesn't matter if they're running it, or in this case, same principle applies on routes out of the backfield. You don't get somebody close to him, that throw is headed his way.
Now Tagovailoa to throw. Gets it towards the end zone, but it's incomplete.
Oh, that is such a bummer. A dropped touchdown right in the end zone. We're going to see how quickly he can flush this one. He better, because they got to make an impact later.
So now, here's 3rd and goal. Now Tua to throw. Escapes the pocket. And this is going to be a Miami touchdown. The Dolphins get some late points and the lead. Tua Tagovailoa with the touchdown. Wow, great work there by the quarterback. The play broke down, didn't really have much of a choice other than to escape and improvise, and in the end, Brock, the best call he could have made.
Yeah, and you can do it in different ways in today's NFL, right? The Tom Brady's just recently retired. He did it with his brain. He did it with his mind, but you've got to be able to improvise, as you said. You got to be able to create when a play breaks down, and when you can put 6 on the board, man, does that infuse your offensive group with confidence.
That one right down the middle. And the Dolphins push their lead to 3. Sanders all set to send it away. McLeod now returning it. And a decent return ends as they bring him down inside the 30. The Falcons with the football late in the 1st half. And normally they'd need this out, Brock, but facing such a small deficit, good chance they try to get a field goal here before the break. To the right side and reeled in by London. And they had that one contained right at the line. Tackle made by Jordan Brooks.
And the defense was all over that throw, able to stop it right at the line. They could smell that one coming, and they sniffed it out in a hurry.
That brings us to the break. The visiting Dolphins holding an early advantage. Now we'll get you down to our Orlando studios for the EA Sports Halftime Report with Jonathan Coachman.
All right, Kate, thanks very much. Back to you and Brock in a bit. But first, time for our EA Sports Halftime Report. This one's been as good as advertised. Just a field goal separating these two teams. This was a very level 1st half, and I'd expect to see more of the same after the break.
All right, thank you, Coach, and we are back and about set to begin the 2nd half. Sanders all set to send it away. Here's Jamal Agnew on the return. And he's going to make this to the 28 before going down. The Falcons offense now with the football first to begin quarter number 3. They'll try to get that ground game established better than they did in the opening half, Brock. See if they can attack that deficit. Penix on first down. Tight end reels in the shallow throw. And they catch up to him, but not until he's got a huge gain and a first down. This one goes for an even 25 yards. And it's good for an Atlanta first down.
Man, I love that effort, adding as much as possible to that catch while earning the first down. That's called yards after catch, and it's what coaches want from all their pass catchers on the roster.
One play in, and this drive is already into enemy territory. Penix now on first down. Completed over the middle. And this one's worked down to the 33 before being stopped. It's a pickup of 14 yards as the chains reset.
It takes a certain level of fearlessness, craziness to work over the middle of the field in this league. You're fighting through guys as you go, and all the while you know you could take a lick at any time.
On first down, here's Penix. That's brought in by Mooney. He's forward, gets a couple of yards. It's Kader Kohu up to make that play.
Textbook hitch route. Just hit him in the short field and deliver it once that defense turns their attention elsewhere. Kate, this is a low-ceiling play, but a reliable source of yardage.
8 yards to go. Let's see how they approach this second down. And again, it's Penix. And he can't reel it in, incomplete.
That just goes to show you can't take any completion for granted, even on some of the shortest passes in the game plan.
No connection on the last play, and now it's third down. Penix working from the gun. Pocket isn't holding up. They're able to drop him. And the defense comes through. That's going to back him up and bring up fourth down.
Wow, it has been such a good day offensively for the guys up front. That's actually the first sack by this defense. And now comes the real question mark. Will it lead to more? Or will this offense learn a lesson and get back to the rhythm they've been in protecting?
So now on fourth down, the Falcons electing to send Younghoe Koo out for the field goal. From the right hash, 55 yards out. And this one had a brief chance, but not a good kick in the end. He misses it. And they are unable to tie up this contest.
He was hitting from that distance pregame. Heck, we were on the field watching it, and they were confident he could do so again. Just did not work out this time around.
The Miami offense headed out there now. The Dolphins in pretty good field position here as they come up first and 10. Jukes out a one stop. And he gets him around 6 there. A.J. Terrell making that stop. A nice 6-yard pickup. They're going to have 2nd and 4.
That is just a good, solid run right there. I know, that's pretty basic commentary, but sometimes football can be basic. It keeps you on schedule, that kind of yards per carry, and you move the sticks.
Going play action, Tagovailoa. Able to find Achane. Just a couple of yards here as he heads for the sideline.
That's a defense's goal, right, Kate? Just get us to third down so we can have a chance to get off the field. And that was a good adjustment on that stop in particular, when the back ended up being the target, and they were able to keep him short of the sticks.
Third down run from Achane. And this one doesn't go far. Only a yard that time. It forces 4th and 1.
You know, I'm not sure what else could have been done there, Kate. Just the right call defensively to come up with a 3rd and short stop.
Here's someone from a family of punters, Ryan Stonehouse, on to punt on 4th. And this will fly out of bounds to deny a return. They're going to mark it a little before the 20. Here's the Falcon offense headed out. They left a few on the table their last time out, Brock, settling for a field goal try that missed the mark. Drive starts out with a 1st and 10. Penix here from the gun. An alert play defensively there. He got a hand on it to tip it away, and that makes it 2nd down.
Well, that throw, Kate, pretty clean out of his hand. Just looked like it didn't get through the defense clean enough. Somebody tips it away and saves a potential completion.
Couldn't connect on 1st. It's 2nd down. From the shotgun, Penix. And he doesn't see a window he likes, so he just got rid of that one. And it brings up 3rd down. Throwing from the gun. He had it for a moment, but a great defensive play to jar it loose. Incomplete.
Well, that was almost one of those nice chunk plays you like to see in the NFL, Kate, before he was able to recover and provide the hit and ultimately dislodge the football. You like to see that physical edge and scrappiness to contest any kind of shot plays down the field.
Punter takes the field on 4th down, and he sends this one flying. Fair catch made here at the 30-yard line. We don't get a return out of that punt. And it'll be Dolphins football. They've got 1st down from the 31. They send Hill right. Tua off the play fake. Pocket isn't holding up. They're able to drop him. And the big play drives them backwards. 2nd down coming up.
You're going to go play action, Kate. You've got to sell, sell, sell. If you don't convince that defense you're running it, or if it's a situation where you never run the ball, you really do leave your quarterback dead in the water, vulnerable against a defense who will storm right past that fake and right into that pocket.
All right, here we go. 2nd down. Another try following the sack. Looking underneath, and the back brings it in. And they'll manage to contain him after about a 6-yard pickup. D. Alford getting there for the stop.
Rhythm. You hear me talk about rhythm a lot. Whether it's a golf swing, a baseball swing, heck, even a bowler gets himself into rhythm. And I'm just telling you, Kate, from experience, these little throws to running backs, it's one of the best things to get your offense into rhythm and a nice little gain on top of it.
This time they're going to get there, and they drop it. And the defense comes through to back him up ahead of 4th down.
That quarterback clock, it is so important to play into position and playing it efficiently. You got to know, you got to have that clock in your head because that's enough time in this league to get rid of the ball. That's a lesson this QB's got to learn.
So the Dolphins readying for the punt. And after that drive went backwards, he's going to send this one forward. He sends this away, and oh, this is going to be a field flipper. He's got this at the 27. And before that return amounts to much, they bring him down. Hard to do better than that, a 66-yard punt. And the Falcons will take over. The Falcons ready for their next possession. Their last drive didn't make it very far before they had to punt it away, partner, so hopefully this one has some better legs to it. They go play action. Here's Penix. Trying for the deep ball. And disaster averted. He knocks away the deep ball, incomplete. Trying to force one through there. And now they face 2nd down.
The ability to track the ball, right? Ball skills isn't just knocking it away, and that's a beautiful job there, Kate. But ball skills is also being able to track a ball on a deeper throw like that. If he doesn't swat it away, we're looking at a huge gain.
On 2nd and 10, it's Penix. Finds the in route complete. And he has it up towards midfield before he's taken down at the 47. Give him 15 yards on the pickup there. And the Falcons will have a first.
Yeah, these in cuts maybe aren't the hardest throws from a degree of difficulty, Kate, but it does take some courage as a quarterback to throw into congested spaces, but it can pay big dividends.
Shotgun snap, a give to Robinson. And he has enough room to gain about 4.
You know, this is an offense that will emphasize the ground game at different points of each and every contest. And as long as they can reliably get gains like this, it's not going to change anytime soon.
2nd and 6 coming up here. They'll send their tight end right. From just shy of midfield on 2nd down. Has him on the quick hitter. And he's tackled with the first down yardage.
Well, they got him down before he could do any more damage in terms of yards. That's no easy job, mind you, tackling a big tight end. But the main damage had already been done. He kept this drive going by getting beyond the line of gain.
New slate of downs to approach here from the 40. Shotgun snap, they're going to throw. He'll work it a couple of yards past the line. Jalen Phillips finishing that play off.
You get this big old dude like him in the slot, it's an automatic mismatch advantage. You train a little bit of speed, sure, but you sure do get a lot of size. And anytime he's in the slot, you got to assume the ball's going his way.
8 yards to go. Let's see how they approach this 2nd down. From the 38. Defender arrives right as the ball does, and the hit knocks it free. Incomplete. They haven't found it easy to score in this one, Brock, and physicality just like that, a big reason why.
And it usually is, Kate. I love defensive coordinators when they say, hey, it's not just what you see, it's what you hear. And you could hear the physicality of that knocking the ball loose.
3rd down, it's Penix. Pocket isn't holding up. They're able to drop it. And the defense comes through. That's going to back them up and bring up 4th down.
Okay, we've got unbelievable cameras. So many tremendous replays. But when you get sacked multiple times by the same guy, you start talking to him a little bit. You start reminding him, hey, man, I think that's enough. I think 2's good enough for you. Please don't give me a 3rd time.
The Falcons getting ready for the punt. And he'll try to have his 2nd punt top his 1st one. So this one carries all the way to the sideline and out. No chance to make a play on that, and they'll take over at the 16-yard line. Miami set to take over once again on offense. They were only on the field for 3 plays their prior series, Brock. Let's see what changes they make to take over here. Did not like what he was seeing, Brock, and he just hurls this one away.
There was almost no resistance offered against a rush that came off the line ready to maul anything in sight. It was all the QB could do to get rid of that before he gets absolutely clobbered.
So after the incompletion, here comes the 2nd down call. Running with A-Chain out of the gun. And he's got a decent gain before being brought down. There's 5 on that play. They need 5 more now on 3rd down. Off the play fake. Here's Tunga Bailoa. Bails out of the pocket quick. And he won't find anything here. They're there to drop him for the sack on what's likely the final play of this 3rd quarter. And the defense comes through to back him up ahead of 4th down. So we hit the end of the 3rd quarter. It's Dolphins football. We'll see if they can close things out for a win. They'll bring out the punter here. And he's going to have to hit this one from the edge of his own end zone. Collects this at the 35. And he's brought down before the return gets far. That punt goes 63 yards. And it'll be their football. Here's Atlanta ready to take over possession. They struggled to produce on that last series, but better results ahead as they take possession here. Robinson on the inside give. Juke the defender. And that's good yardage there with a new set of downs to boot.
You know, the elite running backs in this league, they don't just see what's right in front of them. You set up big runs like this because they see what's behind them. That's called extraordinary vision and extra yards.
Let's see how they attack this first down, Brock, from the 43. Penix looking to pass. He'll get this complete to Pitts. It's a great pickup, 16 yards, and now they've got first down.
Kate, if there was one throw in the game plan that kept me up at night more than any other, it was an out route versus zone coverage. Because you got to throw it with anticipation, but you also got to make sure those defenders' eyes aren't reading you like a book.
And they've got themselves another 1st and 10. Throwing Penix. Short pass brought in. And that tackle stops him after a solid gain. After a good pickup, they've got 2nd and 4. Here's Penix to throw. Pass it down close. And this is down all the way to the 3. They get 19, and now they're going to have 1st and goal.
Boy, they sure found the right route at the right time to hit the soft spot in that coverage. And that slant, it goes for big yardage.
Got that chip shot in their back pocket to tie it. A chance at the lead here first, though. 1st and goal. Here's Robinson. And the defense is all over this one for a big loss.
They say about great outfielders in baseball, there's just something to them. They've got a knack, a feel, and instinct to take the right line, the right angle. For safeties, to create tackles for loss in the run game, it's the exact same attribute and skill set. Got to take that right angle and then go finish that runner.
Here's Robinson up the middle. And he drives forward for a little, maybe to the 7. Just a couple on that play. It's going to be 3rd and goal.
Well, you get a little bit closer, but you can feel the pressure starting to mount. Unless you're committed to playing 4 downs here, this becomes a critical 3rd down call.
Now Penix on 3rd and goal. He's on the move. And they take this in for the score. The Falcons take a 4th quarter lead. Michael Penix Jr. the touchdown. Great play by the QB there, Brock. The play broke down. He didn't have much of a choice other than to escape and improvise. And in the end, turned out to be the best call he could have made.
It is such a necessary tool in today's NFL for that QB to put right in his tool belt, Kate. You know, in my day, you could be a blacksmith, right? You just do the job and stay in the pocket. Not anymore. You got to be an artist. And you got to be an artist that can create when things break down. And that's big time to get a touchdown out of it as well.
That one splits the uprights. And the Falcons take a 4-point lead. Koo all lined up and ready to boot this one away. Washington now to return. He lost the football. And the fumble recovery is made. Now, we just don't see kick returns nearly as often as we used to, Brock, which makes impact plays on them like that so much rarer.
Yeah, that is so well said. Kind of reminds me of my son's baseball coach, right? At a young age, you're always coaching those guys, hey, the ball's going to come to you. The ball's going to come to you every single pitch. The ball's going to come to you. And these kickoff cover guys, they got to think in their mind every time is my chance to make a play, and they just did. Tick, 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 tick. You know, his internal clock right there told him it was time to escape, and good thing he listened to it. He was able to make something out of nothing and at least move them forward.
from the 19. Getting out, and they get to him as he was trying to make something happen. And that pushes him back. 3rd down coming up.
You get into the red zone and every detail matters. It matters on the whole 100 yards. But, Kate, once you get inside this red zone, it is so critical. And let's tip our cap to the defense on the details, creating that sack.
The Dolphins with an extra DB out there. 3rd down coming. Penix now. Escapes the pocket. He's running for it. And he's brought down a little short. No, actually they do give him the 10-yard line. It's a real solid pickup, 12 yards, and it rewards him with a 1st and goal. Working inside the red zone. He's got it! And he's able to get it to the 2 before the stop. Second chance at 6 here. It's 2nd and goal. To the air with Penix. Got a man. Robinson has it. Touchdown, Atlanta. Now in a close game, they needed somebody to make that type of play. Now it pushes their lead to a couple of scores and makes a comeback that much more difficult.
You know, Kate, their offense did its part and padded the lead. Now it's up to this defense to make this 2-score lead hold up and carry it across the finish line.
Coup on now for the extra point. Extra point sent right down the middle. And the Falcons drive their lead to 11. Coup all lined up and ready to boot this one away. Washington now to return. And this drive will start inside the 25. The Dolphins offense ready to go as they take the field. And this game might be going better if he could have some more time just to work back there. This pass rush has been all over them. Really keeps taking this offense out of any grooves that they've managed to get into.
Okay, I like to say in life there's energy givers and there's energy vampires.
Yeah.
And for this defense, these sacks right here, they're such energy givers. And, man, it's like a vampire sucking the juice out of an offense.
Yeah, I love that. He's got Smith. And he's up to the 35-yard line as they reel him in. Give him an even 10 yards on the play. And it'll be 1st down, Miami.
Sometimes you're looking to push the ball down the field. But as I've said before, the crumbs lead to a cookie. And you never go broke taking a profit, and those big tight ends will often find you those easy check down yards.
A throw to the right finds Waddle. And he's going to be brought down at the 42. A dose of the hurry-up offense here. Slot man motioned over. On play action, here's Tagovailoa. He throws a bullet to the center of the field. And that's going to be knocked away, incomplete. That one vehemently swatted away. And now they'll face a 3rd and 3.
You know, I don't fault that look at all, Kate, downfield. It was just an excellent defensive play to deny him the ball and knock it away. That is good on good.
Going on 3rd, Tagovailoa has a man, it's Achane. And his short gain gets them a new set of downs.
To this day, I can still see the faces of the big guys in the huddle. When you call a screen like that, Instead of them just getting knocked backwards, they get to be salesmen. They get to push those linemen downfield and then tee off and go hit somebody like they did right there.
That's the 2-minute warning here from Atlanta. Dolphins trailing by 11. Down a couple of scores, but still some time left and 3 timeouts as well. It's 1st and 10. Hit some space around midfield. And he drives this across midfield and down into enemy territory. Clock running, Dolphins to again. Throwing over the middle, but it's incomplete. Trying to find his tight end. And now they'll face a 3rd and 3.
That is normally a gimme for this offense, these short throws. But the defense, well, they had just enough influence on that play to force the incompletion.
So after that prior incompletion, we've got 3rd down. They motion a receiver left. Throwing now. Pocket isn't holding up. They're able to drop it. And the defense comes through. That's going to back them up and bring up 4th down.
In theory, Kate, that's exactly what complementary man coverage is supposed to look like. The DBs, well, they're sticky on the back end of it. The front end, that pass rush, it makes an impact that gets home. But of course we know, it's not that simple. It is really tough to lock down a full field for more than a second or two.
Taking a big shot for the end zone. And that one's going to be knocked away, and that's going to force a change in possession. So the defense rises to the challenge and gives the ball back to their offense.
Well, I think every analytics book out there, Kate, said you got to go for it. You're in 4-down territory, down a couple scores here in the 4th. But now it's all about the defense. Can the defense come with a quick turnover or a stop to somehow, some way, spark a comeback?
Now the give for Bijan. And he's tackled after gaining a handful. Now the Dolphins call a timeout. It's their first. And they still have 2 available for them as we approach the end of this game. Halfway to the marker. It's 2nd and 5. Another carry for Robinson. And he'll get this down to the 33-yard line. Miami calls a timeout here. It's 2nd. And they'll have just 1 left to burn now. Victory formation here. Looks like they're going to take a knee on 1st down. The Falcons nearing a victory as he drops to a knee. The Dolphins choosing to spend their final timeout here. That's all they had, so the offense free to start running the clock down now. Lining up to take a knee on 2nd down. With the win in hand, they'll take the knee and let this clock run out.
This is situational football at its best. There's still some time left to bleed off the clock, but the really important thing here is you've got to bleed every second of that clock that you can.
Setting up for the kneel down on 3rd. They drop to a knee, and what little time we have left here is going to tick down.
Nothing left to do now, Kate, but celebrate on one side and watch on hopelessly from the other. What a hard-fought effort to get to this spot, and now you can enjoy the victory.
So the Falcons earn the win in this one. And it's not quite a full game shutout, Brock, but keeping that other side off the board in the 2nd half, that sure went a long way towards securing them this win. Made things a lot easier for everyone else to operate in the closing stages of the game. So for Brock Heward and all of our crew, I'm Kate Scott, wrapping up another edition of the NFL on EA Sports. A well-earned win for the Falcons as we say goodbye from Atlanta.